So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe review, and today we're gonna take a look at Rhino slash I'm trying to make a video over here. Will you please stop that? You know what? I've had just about enough of your bullshit! So what I was trying to say was today we're going to take a look at Rhino and Rhino Prime, my second favorite Warframes in the game. So first things first, you obtain the regular Rhino by defeating Jackal, which is the Venus boss. And unfortunately, at the time of this recording, Rhino Prime has been moved to the Primed Vault, so he's unobtainable in the game outside of trading with other players. However, if you didn't get Rhino Prime before he got vaulted, don't worry, because regular Rhino is just fine. Rhino Prime isn't that much of an upgrade over the regular one. So the standard Rhino comes with 100 health, which goes up to 300 at rank 30, 150 shields, which go up to 450 at rank 30, 190 armor, 100 power, which goes up to 150 at rank 30, 0.95 sprint speed, which means he's pretty slow, and he comes with 2 D polarities and a V polarity in the aura slot. Rhino Prime comes with higher armor of 275, he's also faster with sprint speed of 1.0, which is average, he has 1 more dash polarity, and since he's a primed frame, when you approach a death orb in the void, it will release a blast of energy, restoring 250 energy to yourself and your allies, and this can only be used once per orb. Rhino's abilities are pretty simple and they all scale really well with power strength. The first one is called Rhino Charge, where Rhino charges forward with aggression, covering a distance of 12 meters at the speed of 48 meters per second. Enemies within 2 meters of Rhino are dealt 650 impact damage, they are ragdolled and gored. The damage is affected by power strength, and the range at which you can charge, and also the radius at which you gore enemies is affected by power range. There's also lots of interaction happening between Rhino Charge and his other abilities, so if you have Iron Skin active, enemies hit by Rhino Charge will have a 100% chance to be affected by a blast proc. And enemies affected by Rhino Stomp will take 100% extra damage from Rhino Charge. Rhino Charge also comes with its own sort of combo counter, where if you manage to charge 1 second right after the next charge, the damage will be multiplied by 200%, the range will be multiplied by 125%, and the energy cost will be reduced by 50%. And finally, Rhino Charge comes with its own augment called Ironclad Charge, where every enemy hit by Rhino Charge will increase your armor by 50% for 10 seconds. And this augment can be obtained by reaching the rank of General under the Steel Meridian or the rank of Partner under the Parent Sequence, and it will cost you 25,000 standing. Rhino's second ability is called Iron Skin, where Rhino hardens his skin to create a reinforced buffer of 1200 health. This will be depleted before damaging Rhino's shields or health. Now, even though having 1200 additional hit points is nice, that's not everything, because Rhino's total armor will be multiplied by 250% and it will be added to this shield. And on top of that, when you activate Iron Skin, you will be invulnerable for 3 seconds, and all damage you take during these 3 seconds will also be added to Iron Skin. So the total health of Iron Skin is affected by power strength and armor. Now the augment for Iron Skin is called Iron Shrapnel, where recasting Iron Skin will cause it to detonate and deal 100% of the remaining health as puncture damage in an area of effect that will knock enemies down. And this augment can be obtained once again by either reaching the rank of General under the Steel Meridian or the rank of Partner under the Parent Sequence, and it will cost you 25,000 standing. And I bet you thought that was everything. It is not. Iron Skin also protects you from most forms of crowd control. The only crowd control that gets through Iron Skin is the one from Bursas and from certain bosses, but most forms of crowd control, like the Corpus laser walls or the shockwaves that MOAs do, that's not gonna do a damn thing if you have Iron Skin. Rhino's third ability is called Roar, where Rhino will let out a forceful roar, increasing damage of himself and his allies by 50% within 25 meters for 30 seconds. And this affects weapon damage, which is really nice because doing more damage with our weapons is fun, but it also affects power damage, so it's a power strength buff as well. Now this ability cannot be recast while it's active, which makes sense, and the damage boost is affected by power strength, the duration by power duration, and the radius by power range. The augment for Roar is called Piercing Roar, where enemies within 25 meters of Rhino when he casts Roar will be dealt 150 puncture damage, which is affected by power strength, and they will be affected by a puncture proc, which means they will do 30% less damage for 6 seconds. And this can be obtained once again by either reaching the rank of General under the Steel Meridian or the rank of Partner under the Parent Sequence, and it will cost you 25,000 standing. And Rhino's fourth and final ability is called Rhino Stomp, where Rhino will stomp the ground with tremendous force, dealing 800 blast damage in 25 meters. And enemies within those 25 meters are pretty much stunned, because they will have their movement speed and fire rate reduced by 97.5% for 8 seconds. However, when you first stomp the ground, you will knock the enemies up into the air and stun them. And after they fall down, then they will have their movement speed and fire rate reduced. And the blast damage is increased by power strength. The stasis duration, where the enemies fly in the air, is affected by power duration. And the radius is affected by power range. Now, as weird as it may sound, the burst damage from Rhino Stomp is affected by body part multipliers. So if you stomp and you somehow hit an enemy's head with it, it will deal headshot damage. And I guess that makes sense, because if Rhino stomps on your head, it's probably gonna hurt more than if he steps on your foot, right? And finally, there is a Rhino's passive, which actually exists as a mod in the game called Heavy Impact. So when you fall from a great height, you will create a shockwave that will knock all enemies around you down. And that's pretty much it, so it's just a little added bonus. Now, some people absolutely hate Rhino because, well, he's such a derpy frame, I mean, you can't die, so why would you even play? But I love Rhino. He can be played in so many different ways. You can run him as a straight-up caster that does damage with Charge and Stomp, or he can be a buffer frame with Roar. And he's also one of the best tanks in the game, thanks to Iron Skin. So no matter what kind of playstyle you prefer, Rhino has it. Caster, check. Support, check. Beefy tank, check. The only thing Rhino and Rhino Prime cannot be is useless. And it's a pretty damn good trait if you ask me. Now the reason why I like Rhino is because I am able to play with the weapon rather than the frame. I can put on Iron Skin and enjoy the weapon that I've just built or put Forma on. I don't have to watch out for knockdowns or worry about slash procs. I can just enjoy the weapon, and sometimes that's all you want to do. You just want to enjoy a new weapon. And once you inevitably get sick of that weapon and you just want to charge some fools and stomp them into the air, Rhino can do that as well. So I will always recommend Rhino. Just go and get him. Even if it's not Rhino Prime, just go to Venus, go to Fossa, and kill Jackal. It's one of the first bosses you can do. It's worth it. Trust me. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!